What's good, guys? It's your boy CS back with another one. And today we are going to look at something that I failed to do in the last video, which is the correlation with the SPX, the totals and the others charts, and then looking at some altcoins and meme coins that we can potentially get into if you haven't already. Okay, just before I do, I'm just going to go on to Bitcoin and just show you where we're at. So what would have happened yesterday when we pulled off this 4%, 5% candle is we go straight into resistance at 101.3K, as you can see here. And today we're currently rejecting off it, which is fine because we've just had another move there. But on the grand scheme of things, this is still bullish, no change. What actually occurred was we bounced off the 20 EMA, which was here, and we also back tested this original wedge, which is here. So Bitcoin's looking very, very healthy. And again, if you keep missing out on entry points, it's because you're not planning correctly. And this is what I teach within the VIP group. So if you really want to level up, just DM me and we can get you into the VIP chat because there's just so much alpha within that group. Anyway, that's where Bitcoin is at in terms of the SPX. So I'm just going to go down here, right? Yesterday had a crazy move and ultimately we nearly came back and tested the 20 EMA here, but really this was filling in this gap, which I mentioned in the VIP group. Hence why I was saying I'm just waiting for this gap to get removed. Again, if you're just in the calls group, you're not getting all the alpha that I'm giving within the VIP chat. So when this gap got filled, the SPX took off yesterday because we filled in that gap. And the correlation is that Bitcoin moves or lags behind the SPX, right? So yesterday, this did a 4.67% move because of the correlation between the SPX. And it's very, very simple, just looking out for charts like this. Having somebody who's giving you this alpha on a day-to-day basis, it helps you understand when to make an entry and when to exit as well and take profits. So that was the correlation I wanted to make from the previous video. And also here, if we see here the Dow Jones, the US 30, this had a gap to fill and now it's been filled. And now it can potentially start moving forward. We'll have to wait and see where that goes. But yeah, it's hit straight into the 20 EMA. So ideally, we want to see this go above it. And that's what normally happens within a trend. Now, in terms of the totals, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, we're well on our way now. We're well on our way. I think another like 2-3 months and we'll probably peak around here. That's where my box and my understanding is. And the same with the totals, right? So totals has, and I gave some alpha within the VIP chat, as you can see here, 2021 all-time high. And what I was saying was we got rejected on the Monday, the Tuesday, and then we've come and flipped above it. And now we're kind of bouncing off it. We want to stay above this white line, this support zone, and back test it. Because once we back tested it, this is it, full-blown alt season. And in my opinion, I think, and again, this is just my understanding, I think we'll get a total market cap of around, I'd probably say around 2 trillion. I think 2 trillion is the area where I'm looking at this cycle and alts to end at. Similarly with the others chart, and I think I posted this one within the signals group, the all-time high previously in 2021 was here at 450 billion market cap. And if we just zoom in here, we've got rejection 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Last week, We got a rejection. And this week might be the week that we flip it. Regardless if we do flip it or we don't flip it, don't rush into green candles and just buy any green candle, because there's going to be liquidation events. What we want to see here is if this flips this week, we want to see a back test next week. And then the following week, on the 6th of Jan, we want to see takeoff. Like, remember, things happen in stages. Don't rush what's in front of you. The reason I get a lot of these master entries is because I'm patient. I buy red candles down here, right? So if I go on the others and I go on the daily, like we've just been back testing the red 20 EMA ribbon. Very similar to Bitcoin. Back testing the red 20 EMA ribbon, right? That's all I'm doing. I'm just using the trend to support a good entry. And I have my stop loss in place as well. But remember, when it comes and hits it, it doesn't mean that there's going to be a stop there and we go straight up. We want to see like downward momentum and then close above it. Remember, the closing is more important, but taking the risk down here that it's gone through and it fell through is definitely worth the risk, in my opinion. And it's something that I always look out for. And in terms of the dominance, now if we look at the dominance, even here, we're nowhere near the level that I want to be. And again, I'm kind of using it from there to there. You could even argue, in fact, it should be there to there. And to be honest, I could actually just move this here and say, yeah, it's up here at like 24%. Regardless, I've got an alert here. That's where I'm most likely thinking this is going to be topping out at. And that's it, guys. That's all you need to do. You need to have some patience and learn how to hodl. Now, the coins that I'm looking at, again, Jinan's not even moved. It's just bouncing off this trend line, which is like an ascending triangle, right? And the only way you got to remember, like, there's nobody selling Jinan, right? They can't break past this level. If anything, the floor keeps getting higher and higher. Notice how it gets higher and higher. Here, and then up. And look how it's slanted. It keeps getting higher and higher. This is the floor. This is right at the bottom. I'm going to try to get this video out to you as soon as I can. But if you're looking for a Solana meme coin that's at like 15 million market cap, 10 million market cap, and you want to get a solid 10x, this is the coin that you should be looking at. It looks like such a solid coin to go to the hundreds of millions, if not late hundreds of millions and maybe even a billion, just because of the correlation with Nero and Doge, and it's Doge's brother, the cat. And the team is amazing. The team is so active. It's like Moo Moo. It's like Ponky. It's just a sleeping gem. And these are the coins that you want to be looking at. And very similarly, if we look at Moo Moo, right? Moo Moo does the exact same thing. Look at this this yellow trend line, right? It gets higher and higher and higher. This is just the liquidation event. But in reality, it just keeps getting higher. The floor keeps getting higher. And then look, this was the previous floor. This was the previous floor. See how it keeps getting higher and higher and higher. And then eventually the floor might just end up here. Right? Before it takes off. And you got to remember, Moo Moo, like that 113%. But if I show you in a day what it can do, it can just rip. And it's mind-blowing rips as well. Like this. 42%. 61%. And then it creates another floor. And here we're at the new floor. And there's going to be a newer floor eventually, which will be up here. Right? Obviously, there's going to be back tests and blah, blah, blah. You guys should know this by now. But these are the coins that you want to be looking at. And look, I've got all my solid coins, which are Floki, Wojak, Mog, Turbo, Popcat. Finally got into Peanut just because I saw it so at the bottom. And, you know, these types of events, these liquidation events, you got to remember, like, there's a reason why this happens, right? There's a reason why they nuke the chart all the way down here. You know why? Because Coinbase is buying. Coinbase has bought it. And then in that one candle, it's gone 22% in 4 hours. But Coinbase is buying these types of coins. Same with Popcat. Look at this Popcat. Are you telling me this is not mass manipulation from 1.6 billion? Not even that. Hold up. From 2 billion down to 1 billion, and literally on the cusp of getting the biggest liquidation event ever, Popcat gets bought up all here. Nah. This is straight Coinbase buying all of this shit here. Coinbase is buying all of this, and it's going to list Popcat. Same with Brett. This candle was to buy more Brett so that they can list it on Coinbase. Like, pick the winners of the cycle. You've got to understand, again, the same thing I keep repeatedly telling people, which is normies don't understand a lot of these things. Like, yes, they're getting access to the Phantom wallet and blah, blah, blah. And they see what's trending and they buy, and they see what's on TikTok. In reality, that's just like a few percent of the global population, right? The bigger percentage of the population, which are people who are working a 9-to-5 job, and they get on the bus, on the train, or whatever, public transport, or they drive back home, and then they get back home, they get told, oh my God, this coin is pumping. They're only going to be able to use Coinbase. They're not going to have time to look at the Phantom wallet and stuff like that. You have to be realistic. Just because you spend 24 hours a day on socials, kind of being over dramatic there, but because you spend a lot of time on socials and I spend a lot of time on socials, we're in the know. We're part of CT. We're part of crypto Twitter, right? We're ahead of the game. But those who are not, you have to empathize and realistically understand, like, oh, Doge, I know Doge. Oh, I know Shiba from last cycle. I'll get into that. Oh, yeah, Floki. I've heard of Floki. Like, you've got to understand how their minds process. And the very similar thing is, like, if Elon tweets about Peanut, I'm sorry, like, I don't really like the coin. Same with Popcat. I don't like Popcat, but I'm following where the money is, right? Peanut, if Elon tweets about it again. Popcat, just because of the #1 cat on Solana. Same with Mog. I actually love Mog. The #1 cat on ETH and Base. These are, you've got to follow where the money is. Mumu, the bull mascot. Nero, no introduction. Fetch, the #1 AI coin, which I said to get into. Beam, the #1 gaming ecosystem, right? And Neural, another good one, which is like the it's like a bulletproof chart. This chart is a bulletproof chart. It just keeps going up and up and up. Yes, it came down because there was a circulation supply. But look, it just continually goes up and up and up. And so you want to pick the winners of this cycle and the ones that are going to be doing the most X's for you. Especially like Turbo. We've been calling Turbo from down here. I've posted receipts of me, taking profits up here and buying here. Imagine if I held. The problem is with funding rates and stuff like that, leverage trading gets a bit more difficult. But my point is the fact that you want to choose the winners of the cycle. The retail normie is not going to have time to go onto these different platforms on MetaMask and Trust Wallet and blah, blah, blah. Use this DEX and that DEX. No, it's just Coinbase. And remember, Coinbase is a listed company. A listed company for especially those that are in suits and those that are in office jobs, they want to feel safe using a platform that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange, which means that is regulated. Why would you want to use anything else that has ties to money laundering or supposed money laundering? Like different people in the space, like the FTX, SBF scandal. You got my guy, I forgot his name now, BNB CEO. I've got his face with his 4chan thingy in my head, right? With his glasses, the Chinese fella, I forgot his name. My mind's just gone blank. But the principle applies, which is, look, they want to invest in somewhere which is safe, and Coinbase is that go-to, whether you like it or not. Follow the money. And so when you're longing, and I'm saying like blindly longing Brett and blah, 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 I'm being very serious because these coins are so easy for them to follow on because they're going to be on Coinbase. Anyway, guys, that's my list. There's obviously quite a few coins that you can still get into, but obviously wait for a dump to happen. And remember, Bitcoin is king. Whatever happens with Bitcoin, alts will follow, and they lag behind usually. And that's all you need to know. Ideally, I want to see a back test of 98.4 to 99k, and then we'll see what happens. All right, guys, catch you in the next.